Good evening and welcome to the regular City Council meeting for the City of St. Peter, Minnesota. It is Monday, January 27th, 2025. At 7 p.m. we are called to order. Would all please rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody's received a copy of the agenda. Are there any revisions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, is there, oh, Brad.
Oh, the agenda, never mind.
Yep,
Sorry.
the agenda. Hearing nothing, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved as distributed. Next up is approval of the minutes. The minutes are printed on pages 5 through 9 of the packet. Are there any revisions or corrections, Brad?
I have a question on the APPA legislative rally. Is it council members Ramft and Sharstrom going? Because it says council members Ramft and Weisenfeld in the minutes, so.
All right, are there any other revisions or corrections? Daryl?
The year on the date is 24 instead of 25.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing nothing further, is there a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
No. So moved.
Second. All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved with those two corrections. Next up, we have time for visitors. We have first time for visitor comments on agenda items. Is there any visitor who'd like to address the council on an agenda item? Seeing no one, we have time for general visitor comments. Is there anyone who'd like to address the council on any other matter? Hearing none, we will move on to the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda begins on page 10 of the packet and concludes with a resolution that is printed on pages 28 through 29. The consent agenda includes the following employee appointment: Carrie Meest as Office Coordinator in Public Works at the wage indicated in the packet. The following board appointments shall be made: Seth Putz to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. He will be the school district representative. The following licenses approved. The address and dates are printed in the packet. That's a tobacco license to iMart in St. Peter, a gambling license to the Governors, and a temporary gambling license to River Valley Rock Mountain Elk Foundation. The following purchases approved: a 2025 GMC Sierra pickup truck with funding coming from water, wastewater, and stormwater. The price and vendor are listed in the packet, as well as the schedule of disbursements for January 8th, 2025 through January 22nd, 2025. Is there any discussion or questions on any consent agenda item? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ram,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We have no items of unfinished business before us tonight. Our first item of new business is the adoption of a resolution declaring the official intent of the City of St. Peter to reimburse certain expenditures from the proceeds of bonds to be issued by the city.
Mayor members, Sally and I will tag team on this. Usually Shannon is here for this, but this is something that you've done on a regular basis when you are intending to issue debt. Under the IRS regulations, any expenditures that you have that may occur more than 60 days in advance of the issuance of debt require you to call them out and provide a number so that you can reimburse yourself once the debt is issued and you receive the cash. The resolution that you see included in your packet on page 31 and 32 does just that. Again, we do this on a regular basis, and Sally or I are happy to answer questions as best we can about this issue.
Thank you. Anything you want to add or questions for Sally? Brad?
So it says in here, reasonably expects expenditures to be estimated in the principal amount of $8,400,000. What happens if we go over?
We still can go over, but we do have to declare our intent and then document why we were over.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Additional questions? Hearing no further discussion, the resolution declaring the official intent of the City of St. Peter to reimburse certain expenditures from the proceeds of bonds to be issued by the city appears on pages 31 through 32 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Ramp,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, adoption of a resolution adopting electric rates effective for services March 1st, 2025 and January 1st, 2026, and then we'll move on to a resolution adopting the electric fund budget.
Sally and I are here for this one. Mayor and members, since I was here for your last workshop, I would mention the goals that we discussed at your last workshop, in that the rates and the budgets are set with three primary goals, one of which is to meet the short-term needs that you have for revenue, while avoiding substantial revenue or rate increases into the future. So there's a balancing act that needs to go on related to that. Continue to fund the capital needs and the people needs that you have within this fund to maintain reliability and serviceability within this enterprise fund within the electric utility, and maintain a targeted amount of cash, which has been suggested by bond folks, namely S&P, so that as we look to issue larger debt within the future, we meet some of the goals that they really have kind of set for us. So we're really trying to balance these 3 or 4 things out as a part of the overall process. I'll be quiet and let Sally talk about the changes that were made from the first workshop to current, and that includes changes within how we're going to fund some of the CIP and rates. Sally?
Mayor Noel and City Council, as Todd said, since our first workshop on January 6th, we went back per your direction and made some modifications to rates. The first one would be, we were proposing February 1st. It's going to be pushed to March 1st, 2025, and then January 1st of 2026. The rates were lowered from the proposed January 6th workshop. The changes in the rates decreased revenues in 2025 by $361,511 and $717,535 for 2026. The current rates and structures are found in detail on pages 42 to 43 of the packet, depending upon, residential, commercial, and all the different rates we have industrial. And then the resolution is on page 52 to 56. The staff also made some changes to the capital improvement plan. A detailed capital plan is found on pages 44 to 45 for 10 years, and the funding for 2025 is found on page 46. The changes that we made were, we decided to increase the capital bonding for CIP from $700,000 to $1,502,000. Over 10 years is what we're going to amortize that over. The items are listed in CIP, and then the other change we made is to the purchase of AMI meters. We were going to stretch this out for 25, 26, and 27. We decided we're going to pull that ahead using bonding and get it all done by the end of 2025, which is increasing it from $108,000 to $338,200. And what that will do, we'll put electric AMI meters in all residential and all homes within St. Peter, and that will help us monitor usage for people. It's a lot more effective for if there's a spike or if something's going on, we can notify homeowners, and then we will work towards in 2026 getting some portals out on the website where people can go and look at their usage during peak times when it's 90 degrees out and 90% humidity, and see what's going on and how that's going on, and give people ways that they can look and see how they're using electricity. It also helps the line workers. They aren't doing limiting meters or disconnects. We can do all of that from the office and help them out. So it's better use of time and resources throughout the city. So we think it's the right thing to do. We were going to do it anyway, so let's get this one out of the way. It does not address all the water meters at this point, but we'll eventually get down there and see how that works. So it does decrease capital for 26 and 27 in the budget. With that, with the rate changes and bonding changes, year-end reserve balance is projected to be at $2,178,578, which is above the $2 million reserve target, and then 2,023,201 at the end of 2026, which is again slightly above the $2 million. Just so everyone's aware, weather does play a role in our revenues that come in. If it's a hot, dry summer, we do better. Like last summer, we did not get as much revenue as we did the prior year just due to less kilowatt sales. So we will be watching that, and we will come back for reviews throughout the year. With that, we are asking you to approve the resolution on pages 52 to 56 adopting electric rates for services effective March 1st, 2025 and January 1st, 2026.
If I could just add one other item related to the budget, as we talked about at your workshop now on 2 separate occasions, we are, and the budget does include, doing some analysis on additional generation within the community. And we talked a little bit about the parameters for that, but I wanted to make sure to call that out as a part of the budget for 25 and 26. Certainly if it can't meet the financial criteria that we've discussed in broad terms, we'll make sure to alert the council of that. If it does, we'll be coming back to you to talk about the value of that and how that may or may not make sense for you and your ratepayers, and for the distribution system and our ability to continue to provide power even when we have transmission failures. So that's also a part of this. And wanted to mention that because that has the potential to be a really big project, frankly.
Any questions or discussion? Brad?
I'd just like to thank staff. You came to us with initially consecutive 6% increases, and we challenged you to drop that significantly. You did, but you didn't just cut expenses. You reallocated resources and changed your capital plan to better meet what our needs are at this time. So I do appreciate the effort that you put into this in meeting what we were looking for.
Thanks. Hearing no further discussion, the resolution adopting electric rates appears on pages 52 through 56 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Sharstrom?
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos?
Aye.
Mayor Noel?
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp?
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Our next resolution would be to adopt the 25-26 electric fund budget. Is there any discussion before we vote on that? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos?
Aye.
Mayor Noel?
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom?
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson?
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis?
Aye.
Councilmember Ramp?
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, adoption of a resolution adopting a pay equity report.
Mayor and members, this is something that we asked the council to do based on the state statute and the state rules from the Department of Employee Relations. Pay equity, as is included in your memo, is a mechanism that the state uses to ensure that local units of government are paying equitably between genders. Again, it's required that you provide for a resolution submitting the report, and that resolution is included in your packet. The one thing that I would like to mention is that, as always, we continue to use this as we evaluate pay and pay structure, including pay equity points in job descriptions. And so we do have some things based on this report that we hope to enhance or more significantly improve over the course of the next couple of years so that we achieve even a higher level of compliance in the future. We meet all of the standards that are required as a part of this. And as you may recall, as I talked to you typically at the end of November, beginning of December, about pay, this is one of the issues that I at times bring forward and say modifications may be necessary to pay to ensure compliance. Again, we are in compliance, but it's something that we continue to evaluate on a regular basis.
Thanks. Any questions for Todd? Or Sally, anything to
I
add?
was gonna say one more thing. This is done every 3 years, so it was due, it's pay as of December 31st of 2024, due in January of 2025. So the next time they'll come forward will be January of 2028, based on pay as of December 31st, 2027.
Thanks. Hearing no discussion, the resolution adopting equity pay, the equity pay report appears on page 67 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ram,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Thank you, Sally. Next up, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a pickup. Wait, yes, a 2025 F500 4x4 regular cab. I don't need to read the whole description because Pete will tell us all about it.
Mayor and City Council, as you're aware, it's our practice to come back to you when we're looking at purchasing something off the equipment certificate. Part of the budget process for the streets section of Public Works here, we're looking to replace one of the vehicles that we have in our fleet. This unit would be a 2025 Ford 550 with a regular cab, V8 engine, and we would be purchasing that from Midway Ford in Roseville on the state bid. At the same time, we would also be looking at a 9-foot stainless steel box, very similar to what we have now with a V-plow setup. Total cost of the box, the truck, and the V-plow is right around $108,116.32. Once we order this unit and it comes in, we will start the process of rolling other vehicles down. We usually try to get rid of the weakest vehicle in our fleet in order to maintain a lot of consistency within our delivery of service. So the environmental services would then inherit the unit with the lower miles, but maybe a little more wear to it. And so our process then would be to keep that vehicle in the environmental services. And our environmental services, the Toyota Hino, would be declared surplus once everything comes in. So that's got higher miles, has been a good service truck for us. But in the meantime, it's getting up there as far as miles are concerned. Our request tonight is that you authorize the purchase and that we finance that through the equipment certificate.
Thank you, Pete. Any questions for Pete? Seeing no questions or further discussion, the resolution appears on page 71 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Johnson,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Ram,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye. The resolution is approved. Thanks, Pete. Our last item of new business tonight, the adoption of a resolution requesting city assistance for the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Mayor and members, you'll find included in your packet a request from the ambassadors who have hosted the St. Patrick's Day Parade and events for many, many, many years in St. Peter. It just so happens that the parade here in St. Peter occurs on St. Patrick's Day, which is March 17th. They're looking for assistance with the parade route. They're expanding the route by about 1 block or lengthening it by 1 more block as compared to previous years. And city staff would provide some of the signage, including no parking and helping control some of the intersections. This is something that you've approved in the past. We do require the appropriate amount of insurance, which is $1.5 million. That lists the city as an additional insured. The recommendation from staff is that you approve the resolution providing for this assistance and allowing for the parade to take place. Again, the ambassador's hosting on March 17th at about 5 o'clock for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. The resolution's in your packet on page 74.
Questions for Todd? I appreciate how responsive the ambassadors have been in, varying the route and things like that. It's a great event. There's great turnout, but it also means crowds can get very dense and sometimes spill into the road a little bit. And the ambassadors care a lot about having a good event that is also safe. So thanks to them for always working in those ways. All right, I don't hear any other discussion, so the resolution adopting or authorizing city assistance for the parade is on page 74 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Ram,
Aye.
Councilmember Sharstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johnson.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, we have reports. I have no report this evening. Are there any council members who'd like to make reports at this time? How about our city administrator?
No, ma'am, I don't have anything else for you this evening.
All right, in that case, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.